We're still getting used to this thing. Yo, we're still getting used to this. People coming out one by one. The games are starting a little bit later because of it. But anyway, guys, welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is Jose Bukwena. I am the host, and this, of course, is the place where we champion African football. And now, every time an African team is going to be playing, we are going to be here live watching the game and tracking what's going on with the guys. So today we've got Flamengo versus ES Tunis. Of course, ES Tunis, finalists of the CAF Champions League last season. Didn't quite make it this season, but Miguel Cardoso finds himself still going towards the Club World Cup with Mamelodi Sundowns. Then, of course, you have Flamengo, who came third in the Brazilian league, but because they've done so well continentally, they are here as well represented. When you look at how the two teams are doing in their respective leagues, ES Tunis wrapped up an incredible league campaign where they played 30 games. They won 19, drew 9, and lost 2 games, scoring 57 goals and only conceding 22 for a grand total of 66 points. Plus, they won the Tunisian Cup for a historic double on their end. In their last 5 games, they've got 4 wins and a draw. Last game out was the 1st of June versus Stade Tunisien in the Tunisian Cup final, which they won 1-0. Then Flamengo on the other side, still, I believe, middle of the season, 11 games played, 7 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss, 24 goals scored, 4 goals conceded, for a grand total of 24 points. They are number 1 in the Brazilian league right now. And then, of course, they've got 4 wins and a draw in their last 5 games. The last game out also being on the 1st of June versus Fortaleza. 5-0 was the win that they got on that side. Agent, welcome, brother. Welcome, man. I used to do this for Banyana, man. Okay, let's talk about starting lineups. Flamengo has Rossi in goal, Varela, Ortiz, Leo Pereira, Lucas, Enric, Jorginho. Yes, that Jorginho that was playing for Arsenal is playing for Flamengo now. De Arrascaeta, who is one of the stars of this team, Gerson, Araujo, and Pedro. Then ES Tunis on the other side has Ben Said in goal, Ben Ali, Mariah Tugai, Ben Amida, Ogbelu, Gwenichi, Gbeli, Ian Rodriguez, and Belaili. That is how the two teams are lining up now. In the research that I've done, Flamengo seems to be a very high pressing team that looks to create pressure up top, that looks to commit and be very aggressive in their defensive structures, right? Trying to catch teams out proactively. Whereas you have Esperance, who focus on transition, love the wing play. So this is going to be a very interesting game to see if Esperance can get the ball out of the back into the front very quickly on the wings. They can exploit some of the weaknesses of Flamengo in how aggressive they are going forward, whereas Flamengo might be able to trap Esperance de Tunis within their own half and maybe win the ball back up high and create some chaos. Diarasco is very good. Diarasqueta is very good at creating that on that side. Better! My better lyric. What are we saying in this game? What are our predictions for this game? We've seen 10-0 in the Club World Cup so far. 10-0 out of the blue. What are we saying this game is going to end up as? Let me know there in the comments. Remember, this is a very interactive show. You are able to jump in and tell me exactly what you're thinking live here on the show. But for those watching on YouTube, you have to join me on TikTok and follow me on TikTok. And press the button at the bottom of your screen that says multi-guest. I let you in. You speak to me. I think for this one, I might not put in a target. I want to, let me say 20,000 likes. I won't put in a target. I'll let people jump in at any time. Carl Beck says 1-1. Agent says dead crawlers. So yeah, that is how it works. Bottom of your screen, the button says multi-guest, or it's got a blue figure hugging a pink figure. You click on it, I let you in, and we go from there. Tateo Robale. Next slide is share, but yeah. Nkashwa ke bola, nkashwa ka bolo. Flamengo, or Shebile Flamengo. This is the Brazilian team that I really liked. Of all of the Brazilian teams, I wasn't a Palmeiras or Santos fan. I was more of this. I don't have power this side, so my only updates will come from here. Olebza. Hardiman. The tough thing about these games, oh, there we go. There's that transition play. There's that transition play from Flamengo. Yeah, 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 yeah. They have to get the ball out quickly. Look at that press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 players committed into an attack. 7 players committed into attack. Maybe Elias Mukwana might be able to do something. He is sitting on the bench, especially on the counter. Because, like I said, it looks like Flamengo is going to push everybody forward into the box, or try very hard to win the ball back up high. That may just give Esperance some space to attack up the wings. There's the overload already. There's the overload already. Oh, Urishimile Kaufela at Chabu. No, it's Java. Why are you watching it all? Philippe Luis. Hey, he looks young. Coach of Flamengo. Wait, how old is this guy? Philippe Luis. Flamengo. Oh, nalibu rulani nyana, man. Philippe Luis is 39. Okay, yeah, he's 39. Kana Rulani is 38, isn't he? Okay. It's Bugile, man. When an African team is playing, we're going to be watching those games. So if we just look at the schedule quickly for my lives for the watch alongs, the next one is going to be Ulsan HD versus Mamelodi Sundowns midnight on the 18th. Then we're going to watch Manchester City versus Wydad 6 o'clock on the 18th. Then we're going to see Palmeiras versus Al Ahly 6 o'clock on the 19th. LAFC versus ES Tunis midnight on the 21st. Sundowns Dortmund 6 o'clock on the 21st, and then Juventus Wydad 6 o'clock on the 22nd. That is how the week is going to look when we are watching games together. Anyway, 4 minutes in, we've already gotten a glimpse of Flamengo and their pressing. They've tried to put Esperance under a ton of pressure. Esperance, of course, one of the teams in African football who basically, for me, they like to sit back, absorb pressure, and try hit you as quickly as possible. Mamelodi Sundowns will remember that from the 2 games that they played versus them in not last season, the season before last, the Champions League. So they're going to try and be a lot more patient. What's very interesting about the African teams coming into this tournament is that, in as much as they're very big teams where they come from, for Africa, Esperance de Tunis, Champions League winners, multiple Champions League winners. When you get into these tournaments, you might have to be the underdog in some of the games. Now, I'm not saying that Flamengo is going to be that good that they need to be underdogs here, but surely when you start playing the bigger teams, those guys will take their chances every day of the week if they can. And a lot of them will have to adjust, You take Wydad, for example, going from that very controlled, possessive build-up, Rulani, to being a team that plays a lot of fast football. Defensively structured. It's interesting to see how they're going to play. Leona Mamelodi Sundowns is going to be very interesting to watch as well, because Mamelodi Sundowns is used to dominating games. Can they play an underdog game? Should they play an underdog game? So that's what's going to happen here. You see Flamengo versus ES Tunis. Tunis has been sitting back thus far. They have yet to enter the final third of Flamengo. I know it's only 5 minutes in, but this is how that game is panning out. And look at how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. They're not as aggressive right now. But yeah, what do you guys think? Top of the morning, Musa, top of the morning. So basically our sleep patterns are, for this month, our sleep patterns, our work patterns, everything is messed up. We're sleeping in the mornings, Chief. Hey, flexible. If you work a strict job, I shame. Yeah, you can tell that they're trying to work the ball inside to Darascaeta, who is the main playmaker for Flamengo. And you can already see that he's very comfortable in 1v1 situations where maybe other players wouldn't be as comfortable, ball at feet, defender chasing you. There's been a couple of turns where the midfielders are finding pockets of space in between the midfield and the defense of ES Tunis, and they're trying to play these one touches through. We saw one on the right hand side of Flamengo's attack, and now we've seen it on the left hand side. Hey, keeper, Ben Said. But even when ES Tunis plays against Sundowns, they play as the underdog. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Lebza. Maybe ES Tunis is way more comfortable with it. But, hey, Baba Bang, Bo Al Ahly, Bo Sundowns, Lona, Bo Sundowns. It's going to be interesting to see you guys if you adopt an underdog attitude or if you go out and play, especially when you go meet Dortmund. Are we not sleeping again? Al Ahly did us dirty. Can we trust Esperance? Let's see. Maybe we can trust them, guys. Let's see. Supporting our fellow African brothers out there. One of four. Patronize my business. Deal with skincare products and unisex fragrance. Starting small. Yo, Pixie, guys. If you want skincare products or using unisex fragrances, there's Pixie over there. Okay. Here comes like it feels like ES Tunis's covered defense, the midfielders who are meant to cover are a little bit slow, and they're leaving the guys alone on the wing. Like if you could see, by the time number 14, is it 14? Ogbelu. By the time Ogbelu got back, if it wasn't for the block, it would have been what, 2 or 3 Flamengo players versus the one. Look at how they're overwhelming. Yo, guys, Flamengo is aggressive, eh? Play it. When it's the Champions League, these guys are playing tough football. Mara, when it's these games, Bataba. Esperance is a good team, just at this level is a bit higher, not easy at all. Well, okay, let's ask the question. How different do we think the Brazilian league is versus African leagues like the Tunisian league? Like, what is the level, and why are we saying the level is that? Because we saw Inter Miami versus Al Ahly. Al Ahly should have closed out that game. Maybe we're giving them credit for no reason. Paris cost us the COSAFA Cup as called. Body. Santabo says, I'm crying for my 3 hours wasted by Al Ahly, but I'll watch this first half. Al Ahly should have bind Miami. I can't show you, Queenie, I can't show you the game because of copyright. So I wanna this one. If you think Betway is expensive to get the rights, this one I can't even fathom the numbers to get that. So unfortunately, I can't show you that. But if you do want to watch for free, I know Sporty TV's YouTube channel. They are showing these games for free. So if you can watch me here, you can watch the game on YouTube. That's where you can catch it, as well as, I'm watching it on Supersport right now at 203. So it's probably available on Compact, and it's probably available also, on Showmax PL. They always play like lions in CAF, but here they're kittens. Okay, let me ask you. Should we be pragmatic when we come and play the world? Or is it fear? And if it wasn't for fear, do you think that African teams would do great? I mean, we just watched Senegal beating England out of pure will and pushing. Surely we can ask some of the African teams here to look at a Flamengo and say, guys, you're just Flamengo, no disrespect. You're not Real Madrid, you're not Barcelona, you're not those teams. Can we go toe-to-toe with you guys and beat you? Is it an inferiority complex? And does it change because these teams come from the north? The north is a different kettle of fish. We undermine ourselves as Africans, to be honest. Our teams are actually good. Dankie Lebza. Musa says just saying the World Cup level is a bit higher, especially the European leagues. Okay, I'll ask a question I've asked before. If Sundowns were to be migrated into a European league, let's say, which league would they do best in, and what would be their best finish? I just want to gauge something here. Happy winter, Mia Mia. Javelani says, I watched Palmeiras yesterday. They played direct and fast football. Sundowns build up their football and dominate. Musa says, Brazilian teams have not impressed me yet. We will see Flamengo. Chavo says, yes, we must be ourselves. With more boldness, we can do damage. Our players have made Europe great. The difference here is the resilience, the level of resilience. We like this. Look, I want to see how long Esperance can hold out in this game. Like I said, Esperance, from the games that I've watched of Esperance in the Champions League, they don't look like a super active team. They kind of just wait and they absorb, and they win by 1-0, which is honestly a very African way to play. The Champions League, the African Champions League, the CAF Champions League is literally that most of the time. Biding your time, waiting for your chances, and finishing your chances. Pyramids might have been the team that has come in that kind of changed that. They played a bit more high tempo, but for the most part, this is what we do. And there was a question I posed, 2 weeks ago, that in tournaments like this, have we sold out, quote unquote, have we sold out our football to win in Africa? And when you win in Africa, how does that translate to the world? Because Ahly, with all of their dominance, has not been able to go out and win a Club World Cup, the Six Nation Club World Cup, right? You think about Sundowns, you know, I think Al Ahly's best was 3rd place. You think about Sundowns, you think about those teams. Are we capable of playing our football? Is it viable to play our football, quote unquote, overseas, right? Like Bafana is a very, South Africa is a very, on the pitch, it's an open thing, man. We play, you know, and now we've seen that, Hugo Bruce has gone a little bit more defensive, a little bit more structured, a little bit more boring, and he's won stuff. But Hugo Bruce himself, for example, won with Cameroon, the AFCON, but we have no track records when we go play international tournaments, if that makes sense. So can African football, or the way that we play it, win at a high level? The difference here is, I told you, Sundowns can do good in Belgium, French League and Portugal. Bundesliga will mid. I wish for Sundowns to play their normal game. Thank you, OT. Thank you so much, gent. Luckily, it's exactly like those. They fear whites but bully us. I'm not going to say the other part. But isn't that the story of Africa in general? Isn't that the story that there's a lineage, or that we put on ourselves even? You see, into the space, get the ball, flick it on or turn, and play the ball in. I like this Flamengo. Like, you can see the identity. Just the passes they look for. They really do trust those number 10 to link up play. Umpire in the middle of players. Sometimes you watch these games and you forget that it's not PlayStation. There was a FIFA pass there that I would play every day in FIFA there. I guess you have to be a lot more conservative. I'm not going to read the first part though. The game of suffering, this one. Also, if we, yeah, it's the game of suffering. Flamengo has taken the lead. They've scored through jersey number 10. The guy I was telling you guys about, Diarasketa. Nazo. It started. It started. So, this is the thing. The question that I wanted to ask before this goal went in was, suffering in Africa is suffering in Africa. Pirates suffered, all of those guys suffered until they met teams that could finish, right? That could actually finish and put balls into the back of the net. Is it feasible to play that type of football? If you look at the Pirates, where they moved away from the defensive thing, but then also wanted to play pound for pound, they lost, right? When you look at AS Tunis, they've had their backs out against the wall the whole game long. And usually in Africa, you do that for 90 minutes. You get your one chance, you score, and you go home. Here, if it's 1-0 16, imagine you could catch a 4. You could catch a 4. Dance players are going there to collect famous players' jerseys to teabag. Oh, wow. So Mokwana is supposed to be an impact player in this game. Mokwana is short, man. As it sits right now, I don't even think Mokwana would make a difference. Look at the guys. Guys, why are they shaking? These guys are shaking. No way. I don't like this.
Bathi ngisheka ngesulu. Oh, kakazela. What kakazela? Why you kakazeling, my brother? Relax.
Why kakazeling, my brother? You don't kakazel on the tournament, on the continent. You know what's funny? And another example of this, Egypt used to dominate African football back and forth, up and down, Al-Ahly, the Pharaohs, but they could never do anything internationally. You need to look into that. My power goes away in the wrong day and wrong time. Jabu says they lost it here. They will lose 5 because they're chasing the game. I wonder how much Flamengo spending in bringing in quality compared to our top 4 CAF teams. Well, they've got Jorginho. I don't know. Could we afford Jorginho? I don't know. If you impose yourself and possess the ball, your opponents can't hurt you much. No, but Asentabo, this is my thing. I'm not against, honestly speaking. Wait. Like, I'm not against defending. My issue with defending has always been, okay, now you've got the ball. What are you going to do with that ball? If you don't show danger and you allow the other team to build confidence, at some point they will score. But you have to remind them every now and then as to what you want to do. I said it in the beginning. Flamengo's committing 7 players into attack, right? Which means that in defense, there's a 2. So if you think about Inter Miami's defense versus Al-Ahly, it was a 2. So if you've got some pacey players that are available, why not immediately when you win the ball, play it into those wide channels and stretch them as soon as possible. Counter-attack is quick. This is what I was looking for. So again, I don't mind that they're being defensive, but don't 11 men behind the ball. It's just tum. Look at their positioning on some of these things has been so suspect for a team as good as AS Tunis. Flamengo are bossing the game in terms of possession, says Musa. It's not even just possession, it's intent. It's intent. Every time they have the ball, they're trying to go forward, like they're trying to hurt the opponent. Look, win one back aggressively. Look, they're going to try win it back quick. Okay, well done. No, it's actually well done to Esperance there. But this tournament should have been in Europe. Imagine it's 3 a.m. watching football. Besides that, even just hunger for it. Safa must try host the next one. They'll see something. They must come to South Africa. They'll see something. On the power here. Oh, I saw Richard. Most African teams don't understand spaces. That's why most coaches opt for that type of play. Yeah, again, I think African competitions are not won by you being like you playing out of your skin a lot of the time. African competition is won by like pace, power, resilience, and just carrying on to knock and knock and knock and knock and knock, right? Whereas these guys finesse. You know where the ball is going, right? They're gonna play check. They're gonna play to number 3 most probably. Come on, Ortiz, and then they're gonna look for a central pass. Watch. There's the central pass. Look at the half space. Oh no, he didn't take it. Yo. Esperance's defense is all over the place. Okay. Cycle it back. Look for the central pass. Come on. What number is this guy? Number 8 is it Gerson. Watch Gerson and how free is a lot of the time. You don't learn those things. Go on, pal. Africans must bid for the next one. Seems Flamengo's plan was to score early goal and then play the normal game. Esperance always play low block. Even Ileba Dalal Sundowns, they do this. No, Kalinova, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Be defensive, but also be threatening. Be defensive. I don't like. We've now watched 23 minutes of this game. I still don't know what the idea is for Esperance wanting to go win this game. I still don't understand what the build-up play is, where they're meant to be playing the ball. Because, look, they'll play it short the whole time and then lose it to the press. Or they'll play it short, see the press, and play it long and lose the ball up top. So I don't know. I don't know. And Flamengo, the moment they win the ball, they're going straight to your neck. Straight to your neck. Okay, here we go. Yes, Tunis in the final third. Shot. I'm so sharp as pie to boy. For what? Why would you tackle somebody that... Yellow card for no reason. Ay. For Flamengo, this is an exhibition match. Uti, I told you, one pal is the best. They won't win this. What do you want? I just want them to show us that they're doing. Go forward. Mohamed Ben Ali makes it into the referee's book for the first booking of the game. "25 minutes in. Remember, halftime, I may let 5 people in and we'll analyze what we're seeing in this game. Then, of course, if we can reach the limit of, okay, I'll make it 15. How's that? 15,000 likes, I'll keep it open. If we can reach 15,000 likes now, I will open it. I tap the screen, it is free. I saw it attend. That's why South African players simnandi when playing in simnandi when playing in small spaces. But when it comes to awareness of ground, awareness of the space, taking advantage of space, we lack there. Like, look at this Flamengo team. Even the way that they understand the space, watch the Flamengo, watch the Esperance defense, and watch the attack of Flamengo, and look at how, especially the centre backs, they don't know who to track. They don't know who to track. They won't win this one. Yes, 15K, guys, 15K. Not OT. But it's fine. It's fine. It's spaghetti pole. OT, you're awake at this time. Why is Bukwana not playing? No, I'm awake, guys. Hey, it's Club World Cup. We must support. Why are you guys awake? There was Lama live win. Yeah, we know those lives that have things happening on them. Mukwana's not playing. Mukwana has become I don't want to say fringe. He's become a fringe player, a bench player, a game changer from the bench. He's not a starter as far as I understand it. Esperance is playing way too passive. This is bad. Fortune Basaba. They are scared. They're scared. Like they're cheeky.
Oh, Kakase. What Kakase? Why you Kakase, my brother? Relax.
We see this in the PSL all the time. A team will come out and play versus Mamelodi Sundowns. They will be sitting back. They will be not doing anything. And then there'll come a 10-15 minute slot where they start playing and you go, but guys, why didn't you do this from the get-go? Look at the turn. Gerson. This Gerson guy. Shem. Guys, I don't know who's played Kasi football before in a tournament. There's always that guy who will say on the pitch, even though there's a player on his back, he'll say, no, that's Gerson. And look at how free he is. It's just that they haven't taken that. There's a midfielder who's sleeping, and I think it's Ogbelu. Ogbelu is not disciplined enough positionally. Look at Gerson. Maybe Esperance were playing for a draw so they can get the 1 million. OT, let's be honest. Asia's the tournament. They took it all over. They took it that side. If this tournament was launched in Europe or in one of the other football-loving places, I still put my head on the block. South Africa, it would have banged as a tournament. It would have banged as a tournament. Mukwana is frail, says T-Bag. Mia says, I hate Kasi football. Musa says, Belail must show up. Sundowns, guys. The guys who are watching Sundowns. Who was the right back? Was it Ben Ali? Or am I mixing them up with the Al Ahly guy? Look at this guy, Gerson. Oh, what a player. To give us 3 years. That tournament would have banged in SA. But I get if FIFA's chasing money. So one of the theories as to why it's in America is that FIFA is jealous of UEFA. Because UEFA does the Champions League. Obviously, it's a big monster. They pay a lot of money for marketing. They pay a lot of money for the quality of the thing. So you find that they are making money hand over fist when it comes to the Champions League. And FIFA needed to do something. And I think FIFA looked at America as an untapped market where commercialization rules. So they wanted to try and leverage, like Bobo NBA, they have tons of sponsorships, mid-game sponsorships of this. There's a camera with a sponsor. That one is doing that. Bud Light. You have adverts in the middle. It generates so much money. So I think that's what they were trying to do with this tournament, to give FIFA something else other than the World Cup, and even to prime us, because we're watching these games, obviously, happening in America. The World Cup is next year in America. So now we'll know about the Lincoln Financial Field. By the way, Philadelphia Eagles home stadium. It looks so different for football. That one you're talking about is in Wheathead, no? Is it Wheathead? Aye, man. It's in the US because of the World Cup. OT, this is our first Club World Cup, FIFA. Well, in this format. The other one. Aye. The European champions got flown directly into semi-finals, finals. Imagine having to play 3 rounds to go play Real Madrid. You're tired. Real Madrid has not played. They're just coming off of the momentum of the league. And you have to go play them. That thing. Not nice. Yes, he was playing for Sundowns, then moved to Wydad. No. I'm not Abdelmonem, not AB. I'm not talking about AB. I'm talking about this year in the Champions League. There was a right back. I think I'm confusing him. Actually, right back. No. Pyramid's right back. Chibi. It's Chibi, ne? That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I confused them. That's what I'm thinking of. Oh, Mudimami, guys, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Please, sometimes I might lose network connection. The Hua connection. Imagine beating Man City. That would be insane. Can you imagine being Rulani, guys? Oh, he was right there. He was in touching distance of his idol. He would have been playing Pep Guardiola, I think, tomorrow. Yeah, it would have been on the 18th. He would have been playing his idol right there. I look at Jose Rivero, man, and I'm like, Jose Rivero was coaching Pirates, big deal, but he was coaching Pirates just last month, and now he's, he got to coach versus Messi. Yeah, he's shaking hands with Giovanni Infantino. Kiba Lodge on loan from Sundowns. Oh, where's he gonna go? Kiba Lodge. Okay, says my Lula. I love Rulani, and still I told you. Amaramia, we had the chat. Remember the moment that Wydad announced him, the moment he announced he was going to Wydad, we had a show. I even have a podcast episode where I said, it's not going to work, that thing. It's not going to work. The levels are too high. The expectations are way too high. Anyway, 35 minutes into this game, so we Sundowns won't change their play style because they're being scared like Esperance. Look, again, this is how Esperance plays. Ne? They're not like a high, unless it's a local league, they're not like a high scoring team that is consistently attacking you and going. They're a patient team. But patience in Africa and patience in the world is two different things. Because in the world, strikers just need one chance. So, guys, where can I stream? YouTube, guys, Sporty TV on YouTube. I think the official account name is Sporty TV Africa, but Sporty TV on YouTube. They're showing almost all of the games. Oh yeah, guys, I've got Sporty TV videos that are coming out. Falling supporting, guys. Just watch the video 100 times. Like, share, comment. Please, we need to convince these brands to work with us a lot more, but I need to show numbers. So please, guys, I know I ask you guys this every time. If you see a logo in any of my videos that is not overthinking football, support, guys. Sporty TV is not they're not broadcasting. Or is this one of the games that they're not? Wait. Let me see. Yeah, they didn't. They're not showing this game. Oh wow, they're not showing this game. Okay, then all I can really say is SuperSport 203, DSTV stream, and Showmax Premier League. Oh, this Diaraskaita. Oh, ay. Guys, literally, the 2 10s finish. Diaraskata Gerson. Old school players. You could give them the ball at their feet. Like, hey, my dog, do something. And they'll do it. Movie box. Okay. 2 caps semi-finals and 1 cap final is the difference. So yeah, guys, if you ever see a brand, help me out, please. I'm here, Troy. I'm here. No stress, Lebza. 2,000 away. Like I said, if we can reach 15K, I'll open it right now and we'll have a conversation. And MasterCard, guys, okay. If you see a logo, guys, if you see a logo, Sporty TV, MasterCard, Absa, Lays, watch that video. Just I don't know if I'm allowed to say this here, but please support that. Just over and over and over again, if you catch my drift. If there's a link, click on the link. Jersey number, what Chisa Musa? Jersey number 10. The Arasketa. I need to get a Flamengo jersey. My cousin and I used to love Flamengo. Yeah, you see. So this is what we call a critical phase. When we speak about critical phases, the traditional ones are 5 minutes after the game starts, 5 to 10 minutes after the game starts, 5 to 10 minutes before the end of the half, 5 to 10 minutes of the first of the second half, the first 5 to 10 minutes, last 5 to 10 minutes. So what is happening here is that we're heading into a critical phase, and what teams tend to do is become more reserved. So you're seeing the Flamengo guys pretty much try to sit back and absorb some pressure, which for me is a little bit of a mistake. But hey, if they're not going to hurt you, they're not going to hurt you. Look, he always finds that space. Always. Oti, how you run your podcast is not the same. Or my son is going to be Kobe. Let them release Mukwana. Is too young to not play 90 minutes. And this is where the conversation comes in about when you go overseas, everything is cracked up to be. Mukwana could have engineered a move to Pirates or engineered a move to Chiefs, something like that. You'd probably be earning the same amount of money around your family with less pressure. But I'm proud of the boys when they go overseas because at least it shows that they try. Okay, let me see. Let's see who's here. Okay, guys, feel free to request 1 or 2 minutes. Then I may or may not ask you a question about what it is you are raising your hand on. Mia, welcome.
Hey, Buddha, hamba
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
Angazi ngihleka nje. Usiyazi bese ngiyibukele beshile I'm like, yazi OC ngamtshela ngasi bese yazi i-Sundowns yakhumbula sayiqala laphana ngesimina. Okay, mhlawumbe i-Ahly singayidla bese emva lokho sizodibana ne-Pyramids. Basi ngakutshela futhi othi ngasi ayingeke mvesi i-Pyramids ngeze zishaye. Bayirobhe la eMzansi, so angazi ukusizowenza kanjani. Ngakutshela ngathi othi ngiyi-Sundowns ngeke sizibadla amajita. I think mhlawumbe kungcono besithole i-Pirates exactly. Kuyinto zethu leziyana yabo. Basi-ke siyadlula-ke lapho. Yabona mfethu la ngibuka elinye ibhola yabo liyahlekisa nje mfethu ngoba yazi I was watching i-Bayern yesterday yabo.
Okay.
Leya team-ke i-Sundowns nayo bezobona ngo-3-0 Sundowns. Leya team le bedlala ne-Bayern hayi ngeke guys.
In Auckland City.
Ngeke i-Sundowns bezobona clean. Basi-ke okay hayi usi ngiyabadelela but even namanje ngiyabuka nje ukuthi I think mhlawumbe siyahloniphana manje. Angazi noma i-Esperance yenzani noma ifuna ukubonani. Basi la mfethu ngiyakutshela mfethu abona mfethu ngiyisuppose i-Sundowns yabo. Ngiyibone mangiyibona ukuthi hayi la basi yabo la mina ngiyi-Sundowns ampana manje siyawi-knockout mfethu othi bana siyawi-knockout bana. And futhi yazini ngifuna ukuthi bayenze lento engingayithandi lento abayenzayo la eMzansi ngoba mfethu angiyithandi lento yokuthi uMatthews mfethu ageshe ibhola eli-clean mfethu ukuthi kumele akore bese kuzothiwa hey yazi uKadoso whatever. It's not right.
But then Mia, isn't that the difference of the level on two times, on two accounts? Number one, Africa's finish, Joe. So it looks like its defense.
Okay,
no, it looks like its defense is strong. It looks like your defense is amazing. What?
OT. Yes, udlala ibhola bese lokushini.
Yeah.
Besingadingi bese ama-defender awu-4 awu-5 sidinga nje just one guy ozohlala phayana.
No, mara
manje if mina ngiyakunika manje ibhola uMatthews manje ukwi-final ye-Champions League ufumana leya chance ayi-1. I give you that chance.
Mara that's why ngithi for example na i-TUNIS i-Esperance siyayazi i-Esperance nidlale nayo eSandawana siyayazi but Esperance
kuzongena elinye la kuzongena elinye kuzoba u2-0 manje
marabheka i-Esperance masikhuluma ngayo sithi they've got a great defense mara sikhuluma ukuthi thina asikwazi ukufinisha so mabafika lana bathola lama-team ashisayo kushawa amagoli. So is that maybe iyasibonisa ukuthi level yethu mana ayifani?
No, but umdala if ubonile kahle nale goli elingenile if uyayibona kahle ne-Esperance I think inokuthuka kancane. Mhlawumbe mangase makuyo second half mhlawumbe bazama ukukhuluma bancokole mhlawumbe beze nenye iplan right mhlawumbe bengeza nenye iplan manje ezoba ngcono nale. But if abeza iplan basaqhubana nalento le sazosetshenzwa bese and angangeyazi abe u4 futhi yabo.
No, Bia, thank you, guys. It is open. Feel free to jump in and tell me what you're thinking. Don't forget to follow, guys. It is halftime, so I'm gonna let 5 people in just to tell me what they're thinking about this game and how it's panning out. I'm gonna start off with the there we go. Wait, hang on. Let me just fix this. It's halftime, guys. Halftime 1-0. Flamengo is leading ES Tunis. Agent Esperance, welcome.
Shalom, brother, in this morning. It's cold morning.
Hey, 3 a.m.
what do they call it? Triggered. I'm triggered. Take me back to the Banyana days, man. Let me
What
start
do you
by
feel?
saying, before I go actually to the game and talk about Luis, man. Like, it still feels weird to see him as a coach, you know. And I think he can just put on that on that hairband and he can still play, man. Like, like, and I'm impressed. Like, I've been trying to look at him and his style of play for someone who was coached by Diego Simeone and Jose Mourinho. You would expect him to be more defensive,
Yeah, yeah.
um, you'd expect him to be, and most of that he was also a defender, you'd expect him more to be more defensive, so everything should indicate a defensive minded person. But I'm impressed by his team, and I think that thing has been there for like 9 months, sorry, now,
Yeah.
in his own like 3 trophies already, if not 4. I think 57 matches coached, 39 wins, only 10 losses. That's impressive, man. So I don't know, maybe him growing up in Spain or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
No. I wanted to ask you. Where do you land on this conversation we're having about teams like Esperance who dominate or look like they dominate African football? They've won Champions Leagues, knocked out Sundowns at some point with Caruso. They're perennial, top 4 finishers. But then you look at it and you go, why is it that when our teams then go play outside, they look completely out of it?
You know, it's an interesting thing because we haven't seen Sundowns playing,
Yeah.
And my theory is, if you look at the manner in which those teams win, how do they usually win the CAF Champions League? It's a case of they're not dominant. It's a case of the teams that play in moments. Now, when you go to a higher level like that, those moments are far in between, are very, very minimal. So what happens now when there's no moments? Can you create the moments? So it's something that I want to see if maybe my theory holds, if Sundowns play, that maybe what's going to happen with a team that's able to create those moments.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be entirely surprised if maybe Sundowns is the better of the African teams, because maybe here that style of play is stifled because the teams are gonna sit in a low block because they know them. Now they're not known that they're whipping boys, so maybe teams are gonna open up more, which might make that style of play shine. Like I'm saying, it's just a theory that needs to be seen, But also, it's a case of, look at the coach they've hired. It's a defensive coach. It's a coach that doesn't concede a lot. He prides himself in resilience of the defense. So now what happens when you can't rely on that, because you look at a team like.
Hey, agent. Chen, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Maybe things are repeating there on agent side. Welcome, my brother. How are you?
Good, how's it, OT?
Man, tell me about this game. How do you feel about it?
I think Tunis, Egypt, and all these teams is in North Africa. They play this type of football eyamakhawunta kakhulu, yabo. And I see, I don't know if it's a trend, but even like teams in Europe, like our PSG, they also implement the same style of play. But I think the only thing that makes our PSG stand out, they keep on knocking. They don't just give away the ball. And the minute they get those counter attacking opportunities, they punish. But our Tunis, they are sort of like holding, and then exploding that counter attacking opportunity, which it's it's not it's not gonna it's not gonna benefit them. Maybe they can get away with the draw, but I don't think they will beat the Flamengo.
Mara, aren't you being a little bit? Isn't this just the levels that for example, ES Tunis can play this type of game in the Champions League because finishing wise, there's not that many teams that will get the one chance and take it and finish it over and over again. We're speaking about Mamelodi Sundowns, and we're saying that maybe Mamelodi Sundowns is suited for this game. But I'm watching Flamengo, and you can see when they have the ball, they want to go forward. They go forward in a specific way, and they continue to do it over and over and over again. Is it just a situation that our African teams are just not on the level?
I think it's the mindset, man. Flamengo, even though like the defensive style is a bit weird, né? But they attack, and they attack with one mind. Like it's sort of like they have one thing in mind. This is what I'm gonna do. This is where I'm gonna keep the ball, and this is the opportunity we need. So I think it's a mindset thing with African teams as compared to teams overseas, like international. And I think training has a big impact on those. Oti, can I ask, this team, has it won a Champions League? Because I see a star there. This Flamengo team.
Flamengo, I'm not sure. The Copa League, I'm not sure if they've won a Copa. I think so.
Is it?
I'm not sure. I think so.
No, I think this is a good team, but Tunisia, I don't see them winning this one, unfortunately.
And before I bring in Lebza, the point I'm trying to make, guys, is, what was that joke by that comedian? A Chrysler 300C, it looks like a Rolls Royce Phantom until a Rolls Royce Phantom pulls up. So our teams look great defensively when we watch them on the continent. But when they go out versus these guys who, if a chance falls nicely, they will finish it. You get what I mean? Like, it's not a game. When they're building up, I can tell you, they get the ball, they try to put it into that half space in between the defense and the attack. It's either on the left-hand side, they're taking it to Diarrasketa, or on the other side, they're taking it to Casson. They turn, and then then they outnumber your defense, and then they just play it through to overwhelm you guys. I know what they're doing. I still don't know what Esperance is doing, and they've got 7 Champions Leagues. But anyway, Lebza.
Hey, Mr. OT, how's it?
Hey, Lebza, I'm a little bit frustrated, man.
Hey, ke tune in ka lebella the last few minutes. I think Flamengo is there for the taking, but Esperance is not pressing up front. I was watching defenders just passing themselves balls. I could see where the ball was going to go every time, but no, they're not putting pressure behind where the ball is going to be. They just reactionary. They go when the person is already holding a ball and looking for another space. It's frustrating to watch. It's going to be interesting to see at midnight tonight how we play, how we line up and all of that. Because my hope is that the way Sundowns plays, it plays football. We're not sitting back and saying we're going to catch them at this moment, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We play football from the get-go. It's going to be interesting to see whether that is bad for us in the international stage or that is good for us, or whether the African football is bad for us in the sense that they play just counter. So it's going to be interesting either way, regardless of the result. It's going to be a learning curve in a way.
Can I ask you something? You're speaking about Mamelodi Sundowns playing, and look, we Sundowns loves the defense, loves the possession, loves the play. But it seems sometimes when you're watching the difference between the European teams and our teams, there's an intensity. There's I don't know how to explain it. Flamengo in this game takes it from point A to point B to point C to shot. Like they go, you get what I mean? Whereas Rona, maybe we love the possession without necessarily having that, number one. But then number two, even in defense, we're defending without any plan of getting out. The ES Tunis, for example. Is that a level difference, or what is it?
I think it's the intelligence to change the pace of the game. I think a team like Sundowns has the ability to slow down the game or to make it quick. So that's why I'm like interested in seeing the game tonight, because I think that's going to be a different display of African football. ES Tunis plays like this. Like they do this even against us. Even when we lost to them, it was a matter of them waiting and waiting and not necessarily caring about playing football. So in a way, we know they're gonna get bombarded. The difference is whether are they gonna absorb all of that and find that moment that they're looking for or not. So with us, I know we get frustrated by not having the ball. And as soon as the team attacks, we will find ways to control the pace of the game, change it, absorb it a bit, and then start finding ways to get the ball back and playing with the ball. So it's going to be very, very interesting in that sense.
Okay. Agent, I'm not sure where you are.
Yeah, I thought these Pretoria boys are trying something fun because my network just left. I don't know what you're talking about, but I can just maybe write on the conversation that you're talking about. I just saw an interesting stat. The Americans and that stats, so they just pulled up something saying the amount of time it takes for you to recover the ball.
Yeah.
When you lose it, with Flamengo, not Flaminish. With Flamengo, is 15 seconds, and Esperance is 27 seconds, which means Esperance, when they lose the ball, they take twice as the time to try and recover the ball. So I think maybe not talks to that Flamengo is doing what you call, like we said, active press, that team that believes in active press, and then Esperance is maybe once they lose the ball, they want to go and hide in the shell and look for defensive solidity, so so yeah, it's one of those things, and I think if you saw Ahly tackling someone, I think that was out of frustration. That used to be in the bigger bullies. You saw, I think, was it supposed to be a what is the word? A free kick. Another one just pushed the Flamengo defender down, So I think they are getting frustrated, because, like I said, the moments are not coming. It doesn't look like the moments will come, So it gets frustrating like this, From a person that supports Atletico, I know what it means to be a defensive solid team. The question becomes, when you have the ball, are you a threat? If you remember the Jose Mourinho teams, when they have the ball, they are a threat, And you must have a way of creating chances. Like, the most important part is not waiting for moments like that, right? Are you gonna play long balls when you have the ball, transition, Stuart Baxter's as one, something, You can't say, I'm gonna wait for a set piece and be dangerous from it. This is not Africa, So yeah, I kind of get y'all's frustration, but this is how they've been playing, man, and it works for Africa, yeah.
So tell me, what do you change in the second half, and what's the score prediction for you?
In the second half, I don't think Flamengo has like to change a lot on their side, but like the defending strategy is a bit weird for me because the defenders are committing too much. I would like them, to stay and be like, preserve the back and not commit too much. But with Tunis, I think it's a matter of mindset. If your mindset about it, they must go for counters and defend, then it's not gonna change. I think they need to start keeping the ball and just keep the ball. I think for me that's the best way to defend. Keep the ball, play it until you see an opportunity and then try to make something out of it. But in terms of the players and substitutions, I don't think I know Tunisia to that extent. I mean Tunis to that extent.
Okay. Let me go
But
to
prediction. I think 1-1 or 2-1 Flamengo. I don't think they will win.
Lebza, score prediction. What do you want to see different from what you saw?
Master Oti, now I would really like you see that the attackers pressing more and not doing what they were doing towards in the few minutes that I watched. I don't want to see them relaxed like that. Exhaust yourself and get substituted. That's it. I don't know what they're preserving their energy for. That's the only change that I would like to see. But I think there's a chance for this game to end 1-1. That's my prediction. I ended there.
Agent, what changes would you like to see here, and what's your score prediction?
Yeah, no, I'm quite between two minds, kind of. I want to go down the wing, and have, they tried something against us which didn't work but could have worked with Belaili as a false center back. I mean, center forward, and Mukwana, and the other guy running on the other side, So I don't know if it's something they can try again now, because it was something which posed a threat, or maybe just bring in a natural strike and Jabri, who's also very good technically. I think can also help with holding the ball. So yeah, but I'll definitely go for Mugwana, because I think he has that X factor. He can run on the.
And it just came on.
Oh yeah, so yeah, makes more sense, because like also Trojent was saying, they are. I don't know. I forgot the name they use where it's a center back. You follow the runner. The person that you are making, if he has the ball, you stick with him. So you can allow Belaili to drag those defenders away and allow Mukwana to run behind them. It's something which can work, and I love that he's going for a more offensive sub, which means he thinks the game is there for the taking. I'd love for them to score, but a 2-1 loss, it would be nice for them. Yeah. So 2-1 Flamengo. Even though I don't know where the goal is coming from.
Guys, second half has started. Ipileng, request, please. I just couldn't let you in there CAF time for time's sake. Ipileng, feel free to request and speak to me. Okay. What I enjoy about Flamengo is this. The one thing I complain about most when I'm watching football is, when does your move end? And what does the ending of a move have? Are you forcing a block? Are you forcing a save? Are you forcing something? If you look at what Flamengo is doing, every time they win that ball back, they've got an intensity and an intent to get forward. Specifically, my two standout players is Dara Skater and Gerson, because they're playing almost like a double 10, double 8 type system where they just come into the little gaps. Like you see, he comes into the little gap and then he doesn't mind turning to play the ball up or whatever. So I would have thought that Esperance by now would have learned that maybe Ogbelu, don't push too far up. You see Ogbelu, he's not standing with anyone right there. Watch the spaces that open up. There's Gerson again. Plays the ball forward. You see, they have a system, right? What I'm worried about with ES Tunis is something I spoke about at the beginning of the game. For me, where this game is won and lost for Tunis will be for Esperance will be what they do when they have the ball. Currently, Flamengo is pushing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players up top, which means that if you can play the right ball in behind or into the wing back areas, there's not going to be anybody there. So I think that's the thinking with bringing in Abu Mukwana, to bring them that pace, you see? Bring them that pace where they can take advantage of that, because Flamengo is such an aggressive team. Now, the question that I'm asking myself is twofold. Number one, have we fantasized about what we deem to be great defenses from the CAF Champions League, but it just turns out that finishing is bad in Africa? Or it's not as dangerous in Africa. You watch a game where it's 5 shots each, 2 on target for each of the teams, and we praise them for being good defenses up until they meet a team that's pushing and pulling and moving them in and out, and now you start to see some of their weaknesses. Number one. Number two, I then ask about the intent of the team. I just spoke about Flamengo's intent. ES Tunis doesn't show me that they've got a plan to want to go score. I still don't know what the plan to want to go score is. And I've just told you about what Flamengo's doing. So the secondary question is, have our teams been good, but is it that they get that one transition and they score, or they get that one transition and they go, but for the most part, they're not as strong? So that's going to be my questions for today. But as it stands, 1-0 Flamengo is leading. I see that there has been a little bit of a midfield change where they are trying to block those areas where I've been speaking about Gerson and Diarrasketa operating in. They are trying their level best to do that. But again, when you win the ball, what are you doing with the ball? Where are you going with the ball? What is the strength of North Africans? Patience. Hey, agent, patience. Like I've heard them say technically, and I just think it's patience. Patience. Usually they're way more disciplined. This game, Hashem, they've been shaking at times. But yeah, I'd say that it's patience and usually composure, if that makes sense. Oh, you meant, okay, set pieces. Yeah, but again, set pieces might work versus Pirates, because Pirates is not used to facing set pieces like that. Set pieces might work versus Sundowns, because Sundowns may not be used to facing threats like that, right? Whereas when you go and play these European teams, that's also their bread and butter. So it's not as simple. I don't think Flamengo has actually allowed Esperance enough time and space to get into the more dangerous places. Obviously, the last few passages of play have looked good from Esperance, but for the most part, they haven't been allowed to get into those dangerous places. And I think even if they get there, when you play versus these South Americans, or I said European, when you play against some of these teams, they're used to that. That's what they face a lot of, you know? So, I don't know, hey? The left back of Esperance has got a... are you into betting? Oh, I overthink betting, guys. I overthink betting, Enoch. That's the point I wanted to make. Oh, okay. I hear you. I understand what you're saying. Look at the spaces. Guys, look at the spaces, guys. That's a full defense. Like, do you understand? That is a full defense. It's not they've been caught on transition. Look at it. Oh my gosh. Oh, they don't know how to deal. Guys, no. Kerson. Hi, guys. Kista. Hi, Kista. Number 8. Yeah. That's what you want from a false 9, 10. Yo. Esperance doesn't know where to go. They don't know where to go. They're just shocked right now. A lot. It's just.
There's a lot going on.
There's too much going on there. They don't know how to fight this. They're not used to this. But and they don't know how to deal with it. Guys. It's Ahly now, even Esperance. Oh, you. Sundowns and we that have so much pressure to do something. Because so far, Elias. Yes. Quick math, simple math. When you catch them on the counter, play it wide, bring it in. There we go. And they've got their first set piece. So, agent, now we can actually check if the set pieces are going to have a say here. Guys, again, decoder. Yeah, decoder's rebooting. Daily maintenance. Even the decoder's like, fam, why are you watching me at this time? Hey, send the Club World Cup, man. Yeah, send the Club World Cup. Yeah, send. Okay. Sundowns is our only hope, Shem. I hope they live up to the hype, eh? I hope they live up to the hype. We love football. Gustavo. We love this thing. I love this game, man. 54 minutes in. Flamengo is still leading 1-0 versus AS Tunis. Tepo says Esperance, they're just losing second balls in their boxes, guys. North Africans. I feel they're not used to being under pressure like that. I'm gonna hang my head on that. Our teams are not used to being under pressure versus teams that will go directly at your neck. They're not used to that. And when they do see it, it's probably 1 or 2 games in the season. Let me be fair. Maybe it's 4 or 5 games in the season where it happens like that. Think about Mamelodi Sundowns. How many games are they actually tested? Like actually where you go, yes, sir. And they can get away with some bad habits. You know, our teams can get away with some bad habits in the Champions League. In our Champions League. Hi guys. This is my favorite player, Kerson. No, Kerson is my favorite player. Huh? When he turns, he plays the right pass. When he's trapped, he gets fouled. I'm sure he's the most fouled player on the pitch right now. Oti, let's be honest, Lamachita are better than us. I don't know. Okay, let me be fair. My theory is not necessarily that they are better. I just feel like there's a specific way that you win the Champions League here in Africa. And that specific way is not conducive to playing internationally. That's what I think. So like if Sundowns tomorrow starts playing some weird football that we've never seen, I will go, yeah, this is why you will lose. Gustavo says, I haven't watched every game. Oh, I haven't slept, watched every game. Oh, you're strong. Wydad versus City. Yes, Yanda. Wydad versus City. 6 o'clock tonight. It is tonight. No, 6 o'clock tomorrow. But Ulsan Mamelodi Sundowns midnight tonight. Even mine is rebooting. It's that time, guys. It's that time. If you've never been up at this time, you'll be shocked.
Kodwa awuthi mfethu.
Ngitshele nge-team yakho.
Yini yakwenzani Sundowns?
How? What do you mean?
Hayi basi ngiyadlala phela umdala. Basi imali asaze kanje. Othi I was watching Bayern yesterday.
Yeah.
Yabo leya team le beyidlala neBayern.
Auckland City.
Bese shaya thina bese. Hayi bese mina ngisandazi ngeke leyana bese shaya thina bese. Clean futhi yabo.
Mara to be fair.
Okay.
Mara to be fair, Auckland City. To be fair, Auckland City team NFD man.
Okay, asiye
quality.
Yabo. Asithi mhlawumbe ilokhuza le team le bedlala neAl Ahly ngaleya game ngomgcibelo yabo.
Yabo Messi.
Bese shaya.
Akuna team lapha man. Akuna team lapha.
I'm telling you, iSundowns bezowina lapha clean futhi. But I think mina awuthi I'm happy ukuthi ngiphila kule bhola kule sikhathi la ibhola li-revolve khona lishintsha from Europe to Africa yabo.
Yeah.
So iyangijabulisa yodwa because manje kade ngibuka iSenegal ishaya England blind.
Yeah.
So manje I think manje sibuya kuleyanto noma sebezamile ukuthatha basi hayi wena sokunika ubuzwe ube wona eFrance sothini sithule siyakubuka nje.
Yeah.
Bese mva lokho siyak-analyze bese sikushaya lo muntu wakho osimnikeze owala eZimbabwe umenza waba wase-England bese sikushaya naye sikuhlanganise konke siyakubhanga.
Yeah.
Ngisho mina I'm happy ukuthi ngikuleyo revolvement at this point manje ukuthi imanje ngiyayibona lento ukuthi ayina iyenzeka mfethu yabo.
Okay.
Thank you to the coach Hugo Bros. Guys, angazi mhlambe noma nifuna ukumnika isicoco noma nifuna ukuthini, but that guy usivulile amehlo. If mhlambe masingakhuluma iqiniso.
Yeah.
Usivulile amehlo. Mhlambe ukhona omunye ucoach ozayo ongcono kunaye, but amehlo wona uwavulile. I'm not saying he's the best coach, but usivulile mfisa amehlo mfisa. Angazi sobe sisifunani mfisa.
Okay, but
unama game awu-50 manje, uluze how many games?
Wena wangena ku Hugo Bruce sibukela iClub World Cup la bani.
No. Sangisho ukuthi lambe Esperance ngitshelile futhi nasiqaleni ukuthi no, it's gonna be 2-0. No, izophela kanje.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then so Boy Sundowns tomorrow. Then I think umuntu ozokwenza ngcono to kubantu bala Africa is Al Ahly. I think they played good man against Messi, yabo Sergio Busquets. So badlale kahle please. So I think yibona abantu abazorepresent Al Ahly.
Okay. For time though, for time over the champion. Guys, we're 61 minutes in. Flamengo is still leading 1-0 versus Esperance. Esperance has had some chances coming out of it, but Flamengo has stood tall. Now, I know we've been speaking about how Flamengo is playing some great football and they're attacking and all of that stuff. To be fair, if we're being fair, we're now looking at a place where Esperance might do what they're good at and steal a goal. Because if you don't take your chances versus African teams, they tend to then go and steal something yana later on, which is what they're trying to do on attack, which is what I was telling you guys. If you commit so many players forward, all Esperance needs to do is to go into 2v2s and 1v1s and transition properly, and you've got something. But if you're too slow with your ball that you get from your defense out, that's going to be an issue. Am I wrong to say that Flamengo plays like Sundowns? They play like a faster Sundowns. They play like a more... How do I put this? They play like what Mangoba described what he wants Sundowns to be. That's Flamengo. But Agent...
They play Cardoso's team. Cardoso's ball, don't be shy.
Ah.
I don't know if this is the right compliment at the wrong time, or the other way around, because I'm impressed with Esperance defensive work, but is this the time for defensive work? Yeah. And I'm questioning the timing of the compliment. You know, I think they're a bit more solid. This may be the Esperance that I know, you know, because they're not giving a chance for these guys to play. They've pegged at midfield, so they're not able to play through the midfield as they did in the first half. So now it's interesting that this is the Esperance that we expected. But is this what they're supposed to be doing now?
I think I like the countering. They're countering better.
Yes.
For me,
this is the moment which they thrive on. You know, you'd expect they utilize it more, because when we talk of moments, what Belali just did a few seconds ago, that's what we know Esperance should do.
Yeah.
In Africa, they score that goal.
Yeah.
You know, so let's see if the guy is a no, he had to go out, Ugeson, because they had stifled him out of the game, you know. So now let's see how tactical of a genius Felipe is, because a question has been answered. So
now,
can he come up with another one?
Yeah. Well, Agent, before you go, tell me about that midfield. I know we're saying the defensive work, but I think a lot of it is coming from a little bit of a change in the midfield.
They've definitely packed the midfield. I think they've increased numbers there. I think they've already did a bet there, which is interesting because they took out a midfielder for a winger.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that they now have more numbers in midfield than earlier. You know, because now, you know, the most dangerous player you forgot to mention when we were talking about Gerson and the likes.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that launches the style of play. But now he's not getting the time on the ball that he did earlier. So now someone who's making them tick can make them tick. That's why it looks like they're a bit disjointed in midfield, you know. So the midfield is the most important part there. Yeah.
Okay. No, Agent, thank you so much. 65 minutes in. Esperance has taken a step forward. I think they are looking to, now they're the pressing team. But what has been impressive about what they've done for me is that midfield. So I had highlighted Gerson and I had highlighted Diarasketa. Yeah, Gerson Waka, Talinova. In that there was a space. So Ogbelu would be leaving and there'd be a space there just in the pocket. Right? That Flamengo was finding every single time. And now what they've done, Esperance, is to bring an extra man in. Oh, there we go. Extra man in so that you can't have that space. And already you see how things have been falling apart now for Flamengo. And now Esperance can play the football they normally play, which is high attacking. Oh, that run by Elikiki Mukwana. That was a poor run. Why was he trying to? No, Asimukwana. Hey, let me not get into trouble. Asimukwana ki Konate. Why would you try? Stay at the top of the box, man. Corner to Esperance. Yeah. At least they're starting to play better. Oh, by the way, shout out to Chantel, Mapule, Ben, Lebza, Divu. Thank you guys so much for the gifts. Please keep them coming. And remember, guys, remember, when we're done with this live, go on to my TikTok page. If you see a brand, please like, please comment, please share. Even if you comment on 20 people's comments inside the comments. If you watch the video 100 times, watch the video 100 times, put it on a loop, please. It really does help bring on brands and people to work with us. We are 67 minutes into this game. It is 1-0. Flamengo is falling apart. They don't have the control. And to be fair to Esperance, they've come back into the game and they've shown that, okay, this is what we normally play anyway. So they're looking a lot more comfortable. Way more comfortable. If you want to watch it on YouTube, Sporty TV is showing, oh no, Sport TV is not showing this game. Apologies. So I'm watching it on channel 203. Gerson is gone. Hey, sorry about that. At these times, everything is flashing right now. No, like I said, I love number 10, Arasqueta, but it was so nice to see them doing the twin thing. They were doing so well. Yeah. Why? So what am I tuning?
Father God, send help. It's tough.
They were trying, eh? They were trying. Think Africa, we're gonna struggle here. I think Africa, we're gonna struggle here, guys. After we all play, it's just going to be.
Abantu bayakhala ngikhala sibaningi namngani wami ngapha uyakhala.
Go Africa. That chance is not scored. But the Sundowns carriers, please. It just says, the dance. Man, I didn't do the dance fully, man. I'm just shocked, Shem. Anyway, 2-0, that Flamengo is leading ES Tunis, a goal from Araujo. Makes it Shem. Hey, makes it tough for ES Tunis to get back into this game. But Konate is watching the curly. Yes, that's a good goal. That's an incredible goal. Minor. What are the differences in quality? It's minor things. Minor things. Can you finish when the ball is put in front of you? Argentina and Brazil teams are going to show us flames, guys. Ulitile. Lebza says, hi, I'm giving up. That was against the runner play. Esperance were on top for a while. I told you, let me cash out. Hey, BRB, let me bring it to BRB. Ha, 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 ha. I thought Esperance was going to do something here. Mia.
Brazo. Urice face.
Ay, inhliziyo yami man. Ay. Yo.
Yabona awuthi sometimes as ibhola bethu likufundisa into eyodwa, i-patience and to be ruthless. You can be patient and ruthless at the same time. While ulindile ubungancengi futhi, yabo? At the same time likufundise futhi while ulindile futhi ubuncengile, yabo?
Yeah.
So likufundisa into ezimbili ongazazi, but kule match le fana, it was obvious, yabo? Fane match le i-Ahly laphana we were waiting. Wonke umuntu I'm sure beseyifakile imali yakhe kwilokhuzana kwi-Ahly uthi hayi fana win fana, hayi, yabo?
Yeah. Manje ngiyakubuza futhi before ngingena. Is it a situation yokuthi we're not used to playing competition at this level? Naba abantu bayafinisha labantu. Bayafinisha labantu.
No, let's be honest. Let's thank mamelodi Sundowns ukuthi isibukelise lelo khuzana, because without mamelodi Sundowns ngaba asinayo lelo khuzana le, ne? Because iClub World Cup was playing last year futhi. iMadrid yayithatha. So nangalo anyaka yayithatha futhi iMadrid. So ithathe 2 times in a row. So sengisho ukuthi asazi ukuthi ubani owayekhona owayela eMzansi, ubani owayethini, but the fact ukuthi manje sikwazi nokuyibuka manje live whatever, avese asibanikeni lamajita vesi nje vesi izandla zabo vesi abanye siyabonga abanye isi-Sundowns vesi mhlawumbe uyabazi abantu be-Chiefs, uyabazi-ke nawe,
Hayi ungasifaki.
Isiboneke vesi asibongeni vesi ukuthi avese sikwazi ukubuka vesi amagame anzima kanje vesi, yabo?
Okay. For time.
Asibongeni, but tomorrow njengamanje nje vesi kuzongena elinye futhi azingitshele futhi ekuqaleni khona elinye elizongena fast.
Okay, for time. Ngiyangena.
Vese ngilali.
Oh, hey banda. As Chiefs, we're on leave. You know, we're on leave, we're out of office, please. Look. They're checking. No, they're checking. Bilal, welcome. Hello. Let's
Mr. OT, disappointed, because for a moment it looked like the goal was coming.
Yeah, it did.
It looked like there was going to be a goal coming, but all of a sudden, whoop, goal reads in the other side, and it didn't even look like there was a goal there, but the goal came.
Yeah.
So
I wanna push you on that. It didn't look like a goal. It didn't look like a goal could come from that. But is that now just because of how we are accustomed to football or watching it, let's say on the continent, where you don't score those type of goals a lot, if that makes sense?
Yeah, no, true. That goal was my intro because I was starting to have faith. I was starting to look at it, God, that or something might come out of this, but then it shows again that we are not accustomed to the goal. They are not there, you know, like someone pulling a stunner like that. We saw it a few times in the PSL, but it's not something we are used to. So
Here's the fun thing. Live says in the comments, African teams are yet to score a goal. We're expecting this though. We have yet to score a goal, Libs.
It's coming.
2 games, but
it's coming, and we know exactly where it's coming from. 12 o'clock tonight. The first African goal is coming tonight. In fact, not just the goals.
Okay. Can I ask you this? If Caruso is still coaching Esperance, do they win this game, or do they score even?
They draw.
Okay.
They draw, because you can't finish for players. The only thing you can do is to make sure that as a unit, defensively, they are solid. Okay. But up front, it's going to have to take a brilliance of an individual to score. So if they're not scoring, it means they weren't even going to score even then. So I think it's a coach who knows how to arrange his team defensively and close shop for the other sides so that they don't score. So for me, this with Cardoso, this would have been a draw, 0-0 or something like that.
Okay. Let me bring this Sotichant. We've got about, I'd say we've got about 16 minutes left of this game. How do you feel about it? 2-0, Esperance is now down 2-0.
Yeah, no, inhliziyo yami ibuhlungu man. Lela goal lila angazi ukuthi lingene kanjani. Kodwa it talks loud, man. Like i-mindset yalama player at that position where you don't even expect a goal, and you see a beautiful goal coming. It's sort of like coming out of nowhere, out of nothing. Yeah, indaba quality manje siyaqala iyabonakala uthi. You ask me the question and I try to dodge it, I try to blame training nani. Kodwa iyabonakala manje ukuthi quality kahle Africa iyaleka kakhulu.
Is it quality, or is it just that the normal African way of playing football maybe doesn't work on an international stage?
Well, that's partly true. I mean, the Kaizer Chiefs yayiprova lento le yafika Champions League, defender throughout yaze yafika final.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the way to play African football, and in this type of competition where there's teams like this who keep on pressing and pushing up until they find something. No, it's not gonna work. But on CAF, I mean, yeah, no, it's difficult. So it's standard as fun. But on the other hand, I'm thinking about the Sundowns. Yeah, because the Sundowns plays football. They don't just defend. They are good. Maybe they're not good for a CAF, but they might be good for this competition. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm a Chiefs fan, But yeah, I think they might be good in this competition. I just want to see something. Let's see how it turns out.
Okay. Let me bring in JJ.
Oi, morning, guys.
Good morning, man.
Oi. I know, Mandona. We wanna like this competition, like when we buga, you can see what is more like it's a World Cup. Like the standard of football that is being played there is very high, my brother. Like the only African team that I think is gonna try to compete, it's Ahly, because Ahly, most players but from Egypt, and Egypt can compete in the World Cup. And this competition is similar to the World Cup. Yeah, but so the other teams, my brother, like they play, but the standard there is very high. Yabona. Bheka enye ithole u-10-0 da. And then Esperance nayo like iyadlala but not to that level man. Yabona. So I feel bad.
mabadlala lana on the continent. Mapuli. Mara mabafika ngale.
Yeah, like standard say football is lapha is very high. Lapha kudlala ama league like ama cool like it's bigger leagues. So actually like they are expecting everyone like to show who they are because every team that's there like which means like they are the best team wherever they are coming from. Yabona? So other teams they are swag man. And when it's only Al Ahly for the African side that I think really they're gonna compete better.
Okay.
Like even if you look at the game that was the first game, but you can see good no man, yeah, here we are well represented. The rest of the teams, my brother, even Sundowns, even if they are bully this side, I don't think they will display the same football on that stage. I don't think so. There's no Magesi FC there, so it's gonna be tough. But we'll see when Sundowns is dala. But it will be very tough.
For time on a champion agent. Again, around 12 minutes left of this game.
Yeah, let me start by the engraving, the gold engraving of FIFA Club World Cup. That's it's very annoying. The numbers, they're just making me dizzy. But maybe it's just one of those spectrum things they talk about. But still, man, it's like, yeah, let me not. But yeah, the numbers of that gold thing they've engraved that side, it's just annoying. But yeah, we asked ourselves how Felipe is gonna respond to the challenge of what the coach was bringing in of Esperance.
Yeah.
And sometimes the simplest solutions sometimes surprise me. I don't know. Some as Africans are we maybe too clever for our own good?
Yeah.
Because he just added a bit of flair onto his team.
Yeah.
With the captain Bruno, and that's slicing through Esperance. Do we maybe go for Pep's manual sometimes? Instead of looking for solutions, simple ones. I don't know, but yeah, good game. I think. Remember, this is the best team current in Brazil right now. Earlier I was having a conversation with fellow Sundowns fans, and I had some saying, "Is do or die for Cardoso." I mean, see a comment along those lines now. Do or die for Cardoso. He has to bring a medal, and there's something that I say that if you live in a village and you see the most beautiful girl in the village, you're gonna think it's the most beautiful girl in the world until you go out of that village. You see that no man, keep very there,
until you get on campus.
Until you move around the streets of Hatfield. Until you move around the streets of Hatfield. Hey, let me not say. Hey, I mean, let me not. But do we as Africans understand? And in the top 10 of the lowest valuable teams, I think all the African teams are there.
Yeah.
I think Sundowns is also in the bottom 5. So,
what mentality?
What mentality are we going with into the Club World Cup? I know there's expectations as fans, but what is the reality telling us? Is it not telling us this is a Goliath versus David matchup where if if David somehow beats Goliath, you should celebrate. But if he doesn't, you shouldn't be disappointed. You know, because this team is the best team in Brazil right now, and we sign Brazil so-called rejects. But this is the best of Brazil can offer. Shouldn't maybe we be proud of what the Experience have done?
Okay, no, I wanted to ask you something.
Yeah.
Are we as Africans complacent with dominating Africa in general? Like we don't care too much about going out into the world, and in that okayness to dominate Africa, have we now become a continent that just, we play ugly on the continent, you win ugly, you win kari chance nyana je. You don't work towards anything bigger. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
No, I get you, because the previous speaker spoke of Egypt, but my recollection of Egypt was there was a time that what is this name's name? This is
Abu Terrika
and
yeah.
El Hadris. They were very
Ahmed
dominant.
Hassan.
Ahmad, but there was a time when that team was the pride of Africa, winning back-to-back AFCONs.
Yeah.
But in the Club World Cup, they were lukewarm at best.
Yeah.
And if you look at the team that eventually got us to the semis, it was Morocco's side, which was not. It doesn't even want an AFCON. South Africa beat that Morocco team. That's how unpredictable African football is.
Yeah.
And I remember us having a conversation about the quality of AFCON and not so quality of Euros. And one question that I always thought about was, do we maybe love chaos?
Yeah.
And when there's no chaos, you don't enjoy it. So now what happens when you can't have that chaos? You step below, So I think it's one of those, because even the team that which was close to the semis, which was Ghana, they were not playing through chaos. They were a very exciting team.
Yeah.
But did that Ghana team win the AFCON during that time? I don't think so. So maybe what works for African football is not what works. But to the main question, what are we doing to refine that ball for the football stage? Because we see the South Americans, like I said now, they just added skill and easy. What are we doing to refine that football? Or maybe it's a case of we can't do underhand tactics. There's no lasers here. So I think maybe that's the bigger question that we need to answer. How do we refine our football? Or is too crude not to be refined? I don't know.
Okay. Just waiting to get. Oh, there we go. Confirmation is coming. 3 minutes to be added on. We're 3 minutes away from finishes, guys. I'm not gonna stay. It's 5 to 4, and in about 10 minutes, I have to wake my son up and get him ready for school. Club World Cup. Club World Cup. Okay, yeah. So I just want to reiterate on that question. I don't think there's a bad and a good. I just feel like African teams haven't really wanted to go out and dominate the world like that. Like, we speak about it, yes, and you think about everybody and you go, yeah, but for what's the real thing? Egypt dominated football for a very long time, couldn't get over the line internationally. You look at some of our teams, ES Tunis, usually a bully, and it's still early, they still got 2 more games to play, but ES Tunis, calm, collected, Grotman, when they go continental football. Now they're shaking here. Their defensive assignments are lost. They're not playing as fluid as they should be playing. How much do those things play into this idea that we have of our football? And maybe it's that maybe our guys just want to dominate Africa. Like, screw the World Cup, screw Club World Cups and things like that. As long as we've dominated Africa, we're fine. So it's interesting. to see how these games are going to pan out. But we are into stoppage time at the end of the game. So yeah, we'll see. I think PSG is going to win again. You don't think Botafogo's got something? Or Masandawan? But what a game, man. I think I like Flamengo's intensity. Like I always speak about tactics here. What are the things you're doing over and over and over again? You see that, like you see that they're well coached. They've got an intention to them. Everybody can shoot. Everybody can shoot, guys. Remember, I'm not going to stay, but I will be live for Mamelodi Sundowns Ulsan, Man City Wydad, Palmeiras Al Ahly, LAFC versus Esperance, Sundowns versus Dortmund, and Juventus versus Wydad. I will be live. Those are games that are happening now. I'm not going to do the show during this time unless it's an off day, because there is so much that is built up. So I don't want to, I don't want to overwork right now, 3 a.m. in the morning. But anyway, should we be worried about catching up to the world or trying to master our backyards here in football? I asked the question weeks ago, if Mamelodi Sundowns was not an African team, or Bafana was not an African team, would they be doing better elsewhere in the world? And the only thing that's hamstringing them now is that they need to play a certain way. That's all I'm saying. But I'm submitting a doctor's note. Guys, there we have it. Flamengo, 2-0 winners versus Esperance de Tunis. What a team this Flamengo team is. But anyway, my thoughts are going to be out in about 2 hours from now because I still have to do things now to get ready. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back again at midnight. Mamelodi Sundowns is up. Bye, bro.